It's I think it's just I think all of I mean of course all of it is unclean spirits, but this is the thing that I'm seeing also is where you have these teachers that are being arrested every week for the sexual abuse that they're causing to these teenage boys.
Mhm.
And if you look in the comments, it's like, let's go. How come my teacher ain't look like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And don't realize what that can do to those young men as they get
Mhm.
older, because like I said earlier, we are being desensitized
We
to
are.
where everything that was special from God is watered down.
Mhm. It's that.
But also, obviously,
Mhm.
we felt that that's what we were supposed to do.
Mhm.
Going back to when we was kids,
Yep.
we gotta hide it.
Mhm.
You know, you say you try to bring it out in the church, and they're like, nope, we don't want that. Keep that in the dark. So
Mhm.
yeah, bro, bring it. It's a thing of where we want to be open and be honest
Mhm.
with it, but we're so used to that's something that you hide, you know.
Oh, come
That's
on.
that's something that you don't tell everybody about.
Mhm.
And so luckily you have your wife that you
Mhm.
can talk to about. Luckily I have my wife
Mhm.
also. So, thank you to your wife and
Mhm.
my wife, and other, good spouses out there that have that open dialogue and those open conversations, how hard they might be. It's nice to have that person that you lay with, that you
Mhm.
can have those tough conversations with, for real.
Man, she was
Because
there for me. It was,
that's
it was, it was, she was there. And then how I started realizing, like, it being a thorn was all the years my prayers was like, God, remove it, take this thing away, like all these different things. And it wasn't until I sat down with my wife and then even brothers like you and other people that God put into my life that as I because that was hurt, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Because of what happened
yeah.
with the church and what happened with other things, and it's not the church's fault, just some people.
Yeah.
Um, it led me very bitter to the point to where like even some of the theology, because some of the theology I learned growing up made it seem like if I'm praying and it don't go away, it's because I don't have enough faith or I'm doubting. And it was always seemed like it was my fault. Well, guess what? I already feel that way because of the abuse that happened to me. I feel like it was my fault. Like everything weighed so heavy on me to where it's like, okay, so I'm the reason why all this happened. Like maybe if I wasn't so light skinned, they wouldn't have touched me, or maybe if I just was
Mm-hmm.
here, it's just the enemy was flipping all of it on my head and making it seem like it was the problem. It wasn't until like I tried fasting, I tried so many different things, and it wasn't until like I sat with my wife one day and just was crying and reading in the scriptures to
Yeah.
understand like this ain't a this ain't a fruit issue, it's a root issue. And I'm trying to deal with the fruit of the issue. And like the way God was explaining it to me, and the way one of my pastor mentors out here was explaining to me is like, Des, you can cut that fruit off, you can cut it off, but in another season, it's just gonna grow back.
Mm.
And that's what happened in 2012. The fruit got cut, but in
Mm-hmm.
2020, the fruit came back because the root was never dealt with. And maybe it wasn't pornography, because guess what I did mention was is during those times from 2012 to 2020, no, I wasn't running to pornography to numb things, I was running to other stuff. I was like, materialism was really bad, where I was
Mm-hmm.
really angry at my wife and was frustrated with her and was like being very nasty to her. And
Yeah.
so instead of me confronting the issue of the sexual immorality and me confronting the hurt that happened, all of these different fruits popped up. And I kept wanting to chop the fruit off because the people see the fruit,
Yeah.
but the people can't see the root. And so,
Right.
the relationship and the intimacy with God, that's what's been fixing it. Because
Mm.
it's spending time with him, because intimacy kills that stuff. Because like that's all pornography is, and that's all sex outside. It's false intimacy,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and you're running to it for intimacy. You're running to all these different things, and man, God really got me one day. Man, I was just like breaking down in tears, and spending time with my wife and spending time with her and spending time with my kids, and just realizing like he wants to love that stuff out of me. Cause
yeah.
like I got all the spankings and beatings in the world, and that ain't fix nothing, bro.
And
Like,
see, and that's the thing, man. We think that that's our comfort, and with the porn. And see, with me, man, it was always just the thing of being over sexualized so young and seeing all of that porn and with the masturbation and stuff, that was like something that was like it was a comfort. It was something that I thought that that's what we were supposed to do. And then the culture that we grew up in,
mhm,
over sexualizing us, with the hip hop culture, with the music videos,
mhm,
and just the mentality in the world of what a man was supposed to be doing. And all those things is piling up on me, and it sounds like it was piling up on you as well.
mhm,
It at these times that we walking with the Lord, and we trying to live earnest, and we're trying to make sure that we are dealing with those sins. It's just we get it in our head that that's our comfort, that
mhm.
that's going to make us feel better, that this is going to be okay. And looking at social media, what's going
Dude,
on,
boy,
yeah, man, we didn't even get to that. Like the social media,
oof,
what's on it now, man, with OnlyFans and
bro.
just
I was going to say something about that. So I was thinking about this part, and I had to think. So one, the church is acting like this stuff is new, bro. Go
it's
back to
not.
the go back to the 1950s and 60s. They was doing it back then. They just was shh, don't tell nobody. And it was like we didn't have stuff like they didn't have internet back then.
Yeah,
You had to go out to a peep show to get that. You had to
yeah,
go get a magazine from here, or you was with
yeah,
little, y'all was playing house and hunching up the street. Like that's what y'all was doing.
yep.
But we're in a time now where, bro, so much is accessible. You ain't even got to be looking for it.
Well, on top of that, it's celebrated.
Yes.
It's celebrated. Like you said, it used to be hush hush. It used to be something that we just kept in our bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's literally just right there on our phones, and it's celebrated. I mean, and it's in every culture. I mean, you get on social media right now, depending on what your feed look like, you're gonna see at least 3 OnlyFans girls that are multimillionaires,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that, and it's so crazy because they, like you said, they think that it's new. They think it's new. But I remember back in the day when them old heads used to be like, this ain't new. History repeats itself. Everything is going around. It even said in Ecclesiastics, ain't nothing
Ecclesiastes.
new
No, up underneath
under
this.
the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. So, you see these girls that are like getting popularity and getting paid off of sleeping with 1,000 people.
Shoot.
And I remember back in the day in the early 2000s having VHSs, where girls was doing 500 men
Mm-hmm.
in a day. So it's not that it's new; it's more accessible, and
Come
and
on
we're,
now.
and we're celebrating it
Mm-hmm.
way more than what we used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I that's really why I wanted to have this pod. That's why I really wanted to sit down to let people know that it's what it can do to you,
Come on
whether
now.
whether you're walking with Jesus or you're not walking with Jesus.
It's damaging, bro.
And, and what it did to me, like I said earlier, it desensitizes you. It
Mm-hmm.
desensitizes. I know not just me. I know other men that I've talked to as well. You lose track of what God has given us in women.
Mm-hmm.
You lose track of how special a woman's touch is.
Mm-hmm.
You lose track of how special sex what a woman really is. And this ain't just like on some homosexuality stuff. This is also just I'm saying that because I literally know men to where they cannot climax unless they're touching themselves.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I mean, I've had men like talk to me about this to where they are so desensitized and they are constantly looking at porn to where they can only climax if they're touching themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And with that lifestyle does come a lot of drug use. Like what's going on with this P. Diddy trial?
Mm-hmm.
You know, for him to I feel kind of bad for him because for a period of my life I was living to where I would only have sex if I had X pills, a bottle of liquor, about at least a quarter of weed, and if it was some powder, I'm gonna snort some powder too. And so and that was the play. If I didn't have those things, I was not having sex. And so that goes into that goes all back to everything that happened to me as a kid and coming up. So yeah, man, it's a serious thing that really needs to be talked about, really needs to be fleshed out. And so yeah, bro.
They don't know, like, you know, I want to go to scripture. So I want to go to 1 Corinthians 6:18. And so this is one of them scriptures that's like, it punches you and it hits you. And so I'm reading out of the NASB version. And so obviously, in this, the one thing I love about it is that in this particular context of Corinthians is Paul's addressing a culture that's very sexualized.
Yes.
Like they was off the chain. Like, like that gives me hope because Paul is like dealing with a church where like he says it's actually reported that there's immorality among you. It's so bad the Gentiles don't even do it. Like they was tripping so bad, Paul had to, and so that gives me hope.
Yeah.
But one of the scriptures that sticks out to me is it says that in Corinthians 6:18, it says that obviously Paul is saying that your body doesn't belong to you. If you sum it up from 12 all the way down to 20, he says, if you've given yourself to Jesus Christ, you have now married yourself to him. Your body is not your own. And then he says, what does he says? It says he talks about, he says, flee immorality. Every other sin that a man commits is outside the body, but the immoral man sins against his own body. And it says, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and that you are not your own? What gets me about that first verse, that 18, is it says, first he says flee, but then he says everything we ever do with every other sin, it does something to other people. But when we sin and we do immoral sins and sexual sins, it does something to our own bodies. And that really and Paul doesn't go and explain, and you got some kooky people who try to tell the reason why and what it does, but it lets you know, like, our bodies are so precious.
Yeah.
And the intimacy that God has created between a man and a woman is so precious that when it's used outside of the context, it hurts us.
Yeah.
Our own bodies are affected by it. And so the world doesn't get it. You know, they don't understand. They're like, oh, well, it's my body. I can do whatever I want to do, and this, that, and the third. And they talk about stacking bodies up and all that. And I mean, like,
Yeah,
when I was,
your body count, yeah.
when I was in the world before I got saved, you know, I was out there doing it. And it's just, when you read that, it's sobering because you realize, like, dang, man, like, I'm hurting myself.
Yeah, right. Well, two things with that. You know, I was reading Matthew the other night, and I think Matthew 6, the Sermon on the Mount. You know, I find it funny, you know, which I've heard other people say this as well. It's right after Jesus says, if something offends your eye, to pluck it out. If your hand offends yourself, cut it off. But he also says not to swear on your body because it's not yours. Let me go to it. So that's something else that. So yeah, so it's not Matthew 6, it's Matthew 5. where he says 36. Thanks for finding that too. But yeah, 36 where he says, "Neither shalt thou swear," and I'm reading the King James. I'm the King James. I'm weird like
It's all good, bro.
I'm weird like that. But neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than this committed evil. So even trying to swear on ourselves, you know how cats be trying to say that's on me, that's on me. Jesus is saying, like, we don't even have the power to do the things that God has already planned for us in our bodies. So why do we think that we can just take our bodies and freely do what we want to do for our own pleasure? And that's what that said to me. Like, this right here, you hear it all the time. This is my temple. This is my temple. I hear cats saying that all the time when they fire up a blunt or something, you know? And if this is our temple, or, you know, if this is God's temple, and it's a temple, period. If this is a temple, period, shouldn't we honor it that way?
That's right.
We shouldn't just, you know, let any and every old body just muck it up. And now, the time that we're living in now, I don't know if you heard this, but they got this saying where they be like, "I'm sucking the soul out of them." Have you heard this?
Oh no, that's horrible.
You ain't heard this?
I've heard of some stuff like that. I've heard some crazy stuff, bro. But
Yo,
God.
So now it's like, it's so bad. Sexual immorality is so bad that it's not just them saying, "Oh, I got bodies," or "your body count." You know, it's literally they're bragging about sucking the soul out of a man or a woman. And that's how bad sexual immorality is. And I just feel like we really need to get back to what sex is really designed for.
Man, bro, hold on. Like, I listened to a whole sermon that helped me on that. Just understanding, like, what it means when the Bible says, "And he knew her, and she knew him," right? You know, we understood that, like, the sex is the consummation to the marriage. That's why, like, Paul talks about it in Corinthians, how he says the husband and the wife are supposed to constantly come back together, because you're consummating your marriage, you're rejoining yourself. The act of sex is more than just physical pleasure. That's just because God is so good, he gave us that. But it's really like you're marrying yourself to that person when you do that. So when it says Adam knew her, the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, it didn't say Adam had sex with Eve. It said he knew her.
He knew her.
And so, like, here you are going and doing this marriage act when you're not married to the person. So you're going around knowing all these people, which means you're creating soul ties with all these people. And so it's like, now because I remember one pastor said there's no such thing as a one-night stand.
No, it's not.
No, because you connected with that person. So now you laying with 20 people. You done laid with not just them 20 people, but all the other people they done laid with, and you have bound yourself to that person. And like, it's just scary when you say something like, "I sucked the soul out," or "I got the body count." It's like, yeah, you do have a body count. So when you finally marry your wife, you and all them 50 bodies is in the bed with her.
Right, exactly, bro.
And
but it's just, it's where we are today, and where everything is being celebrated, and it's really uncomfortable. And it's really, it really is to a point to where it's uncomfortable. And just personally, just to see where it started as kids, and now it's then grew to this. You know, I remember right now. Let me get back.
PDF files.
Yeah, PDF files. Yeah. PDF files is something that's talked about, but I remember back in the day, that was almost common, and it's common within families as well. And so now we see it on this huge level, and we wonder, why is it happening? And I think all of, I mean, of course all of it is unclean spirits, but this is the thing that I'm seeing also, is where you have these teachers that are being arrested every week for the sexual abuse that they're causing to these teenage boys. And if you look in the comments, it's like, let's go. How come my teacher ain't look like that? You know what I'm saying? And don't realize what that can do to those young men as they get older, because like I said earlier, we are being desensitized.
We are.
Where everything that was special from God is watered down. And you're never satisfied with this lifestyle. You're never satisfied with that lifestyle. You're constantly, that's why you hear about these far extremes with Diddy and far extremes in other parts of Hollywood, because your flesh is never satisfied. Ever. One little nightstand will lead to more and more, and then the one night stands that don't do it, then you gotta go to sex parties, then after a while that don't do it, then
you got IVs and baby oil up in yours.
With the baby oil in your travel bag.
in the Louis Vuitton travel bag.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I laugh, but I'm serious, man. I feel I know where Diddy's at, and the man, if he does not find Jesus, if you do not find Jesus, if you are there, you will never be satisfied.
Never.
It's like, you know, one of the reasons I quit smoking weed is because I realized that I will never be high like how I got high when I was a kid, when I first started getting high. And it's like that with sex also. You're never gonna have that climax that you're searching for when you're having sex outside of how God designed it.
That's right.
You're not.
You're not.
And masturbate all day long.
It's not gonna happen. And
you can sleep with all the women,
as many as you want, whatever you want. It's not gonna happen.
And you're not gonna have that satisfaction. You're not gonna have that satisfaction that you're looking for, because it's outside of God. And I'm just speaking on experience.
The same thing here. Same here. I never did the drugs, but I know what it's like to have that body count, I guess you could say, when I'm in high school, and because of the emptiness and because of this and me chasing it, man, if I just get with this girl, or if I just get with this girl, and I think, man, as soon as I get with her, everything's going to be okay. And then you realize, like, it's like your soul just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The hole just gets larger and larger and larger. And it's like, you know, it's like the Bible talks about it being like a broken cistern. It like never holds any water. And I mean, it wasn't until I got saved and until I got married, and it wasn't until I understood everything in its proper context that I understood what true satisfaction was. And so, like, it's some heavy stuff, bro. Like, it's crazy how the culture preaches to you and tells you that it's okay to indulge in these things, but they never tell you the ramifications of what's going to happen. They never tell you, you know, like, we all look at Diddy, and I know he's popping up because he's popular, but I remember there was one time, like, I was listening to Ruslan and a bunch of other people, and he was like, man, we all doing the Diddy in our private tab. He's like, man, you laughing at him? He just getting caught for what you doing in the private tab. Like, yeah, and I had to think about that too, because I literally prayed for him. Like I said, I felt convicted, because I was like, man, I wonder how many people's praying for bro right now, because, you know, he got caught. it's a bunch of other people doing stuff and they just ain't got caught yet. What if I got caught? Like, what if I was when I was in my heyday and I was out there like light skinned sin and I was
Light skin sin.
I was out there wilding. Like, man, what if I got jammed up? Like,
Yeah.
what if like this? I never surrendered and like it just got worse. Like, I think about what if that crossroads I had where I was in working on getting signed and like working on all that. What if I chose to not get married to my wife and go forward with what was going on? It's like, bro, I've probably been right there with him.
Yeah. And see, you know, one is good that you realize all of that, but that's the thing with walking with Christ. Now that I'm realizing is all of those things, all of those things that we went through is why Christ gets the victory.
Man, every time.
Right. It's why Christ gets the victory. It's why we can do this right here that we're doing and put it out there in hopes that, it's really gonna impact somebody to, turn from what they're doing or stop somebody from living that lifestyle, because we know that Christ has did it for us. And we still have those moments of weakness, and we still have don't think I got it figured all out. Please don't, because I don't. But I have more victories than I do downfalls.
Better come on, man.
And that's because of Christ. So, to everything that you're saying about the light skin seeing, you know what I'm saying? That's the first time I heard that. Yeah, man, light skin seeing was out here too. But, luckily, instead of being caught, Christ gave us the strength to where we can confess.
Man, yes.
We can repent. And that is as hard as that is at times. That's better than being caught.